welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you about, it's a complicated subject, I'll say, what we eat and don't eat and why. Of course, you can do your own research, and I encourage you to do your own research. This is just how we live our life and what works for us. So I've been talking about it for a while and been promising this video, and it's just taken me a while. I wrote a blog about it, which I'm going to use as my guide to talking about it. So if I'm looking down or anything, that's what I'm looking at. And I want to preface this video by saying no one is perfect. You shouldn't be upset with yourself if you splurge or occasionally have something that has, bad things in it. It's okay. Nobody's perfect, and I am far from perfect. So, jumping in, we eat little to no dairy. We don't drink milk. I have been lactose intolerant since I was 12. And P drank whole milk, honestly, until we met him. Or until I met him. And I was like, you are a grown man, you should not be drinking whole milk in your 20s. So he started drinking low-fat milk, and he drank that up until about 2 years ago. He actually developed a milk allergy. Now, I will say, when we traveled to a different country, when we went to Ireland, their dairy was so pure, it did not upset my stomach or his. It was awesome. So, I'm specifically talking about the processed dairy that we have here. So we have little to no dairy, but we do still have some. Like, occasionally we'll have sour cream. We do use half and half in our coffee. We do sometimes use the alternatives, like Ripple is one of our favorite half and halves, and that is a plant protein. And we're planning to give our kids the plant protein milk when they start off of breast milk. So we do use cream cheese occasionally. We do still consume cheese. Sometimes we'll buy dairy-free cheese. It just depends, but we do still eat those things. It's not completely gone from our diet. We love pizza, so it's hard to get rid of that. So we do not, this is our biggest thing and our most intense thing, I will say. We do not eat or drink anything with dyes in it. For a long time, we didn't realize what was in our food, and becoming aware of it has been so important to us, because dyes are so dangerous. They're linked to many harmful things. And yes, some people may say, like, well, it's not going to kill you, or it'll take a long time, or whatever. But that's totally up to you if you want to eat that way. But for us, we cut that out of our diet. We're not going to have our children eating foods with dyes. We're not going to eat food with dyes. Like I said, nobody's perfect, and occasionally you'll get something and be like, shoot, it has dye. And it's not just foods, it's lotions and many things. So you have to really keep your eye out if you're going to cut dyes out. It is not easy. I will say that. It is getting a little bit easier because they did come up with a dye-free brand. There are many dye-free alternatives, but like Trader Joe's has the alternative to Takis. They have the dye-free. Many drinks, you can just get colorless ones. We don't drink soda, so that is not hard for us. What am I trying to say? The chip brand, like Doritos and everything, they actually came out with an organic line that contains no dyes, which is awesome, and they are delicious. We've had the Cheetos and all the other ones. They're amazing. So, little amounts of soy. As you know, I'm pescatarian, transitioning to vegetarian, but still pescatarian. I try really hard not to eat a lot of soy. I love soy milk. Honestly, I love soy products. I, in high school, would come home and I would literally chop up tofu, put soy sauce on it, and just pig out. I love soy. I love soy milk so much. I only let myself get soy milk at Starbucks. P doesn't love soy as much, like tofu he doesn't love, or soy milk. So it's a little easier for him, but there is hidden amounts of soy in things. When you buy any processed food in the freezer section or anything like that, always check. And actually not just that, boxed like macaroni and cheeses will sometimes have soy. what else? Like some chips will have soy in it. So if you look at the allergens, it does say usually, I think it has to say milk, soy, dairy, wheat, or dairy, milk, whatever. Wheat, peanuts. So they'll tell you. That's something that's really hard because I love the product and it is a good protein source for myself, but it's just that it has estrogen in it. And much like the dyes, there's no research on how long it takes to get out of your system. And stuff that I've read even says that it can affect your children's reproductive systems. So that's what's big for us. Since it contains estrogen, it can kind of mess you up. So having small amounts is totally fine, but eating it every day or huge amounts of it can really affect your fertility and even cause other issues with your health. And the last thing is being low sodium. We don't like go out and eat only low sodium. It's mostly just the way we cook. I grew up loving salt. Like I would put it in my hand, I would lick it off, I would put it on limes and just enjoy that. My family cooks with a lot of salt. And I am not saying it's not delicious, but once you get lower on your sodium level, like once you realize the difference of eating less salt versus more salt, you will feel so different. It is so crazy. My husband was exactly the opposite. He did not like any salt on anything. I used to not cook with salt at all. He would not have it. So now we've balanced each other out and we eat a little bit of salt occasionally, but eating a lot of salt made me feel so bloated. And now when I have high sodium meals, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like my stomach is going to explode. So that's something that's big for us. It's not really a huge health concern for either of us because everything's good as far as our bill of health, but it's always important to be ahead of the issues. And it's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to your health, in our opinion. Other than that, I wanted to go into drinking caffeine and alcohol. Just like touch base on it. I really don't drink. Neither of us really do. It's like maybe once a month or less. P's been having a beer like maybe once a month. I have not had a drink of anything for maybe a year, maybe 6 months. Like randomly someone will have a drink and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take a sip. Yeah, it sounds good. It's nothing against, like we don't have a problem with it. Sometimes people are like, is it okay if we drink? And I'm like, totally. Like it's not a big deal to us. Like it's just for our own feeling. Like I don't want to wake up the next day feeling a headache. I don't want to wake up the next day feeling bloated. I'm not a beer person. P likes beer. So it's just personal preference, and I honestly hate the taste of most things. I just do. Like Malibu rum is really like the only thing I like. My brother-in-law is like really good. I think he should be a bartender. He loves making drinks and he's really good at it. So I'll try his concoctions. But for myself, it's just most of it doesn't taste good and I'm not going to drink something that I don't enjoy. P, on the other hand, he never like drinks in public places. He's just really intense. He really likes to be in control of his body. So he doesn't like the feeling of being buzzed or anything like that. He really, like, if he drinks a beer or two, like, he literally is like, okay, I'm ready to go to bed. Just, like, makes him tired. So it's just that feeling that he doesn't like, to not be in control. And moving on to caffeine. This is the hardest one for me. P does really good at it. He's very disciplined, and for me, it's really hard. So we try to limit having coffee 3 times a week. We don't drink soda, like I said. It's so rare that we'll have soda maybe once a month. But again, going back to fertility, caffeine can have an effect on that. So that's something we're very cautious of. And of course, it's not great for you to have caffeine all the time. So that's been the hardest thing for me. I, in high school, drank coffee every single day. My dad had a Keurig, and I used that, and I would drink coffee like every day. And then I went for a while where I didn't drink coffee, and then I just have it occasionally. And then now I have it, like I said, I try really hard to only have it 3 days a week. Not counting the weekends. Sometimes, I don't know, it's really something that's difficult for me because it's just so delicious, and we're like really specific on the kind of coffee we love, and that's kind of our treat. Like some people will go out and get a drink, like go to a bar. For us, we want to go to a coffee shop and like get a treat by having an amazing like artisan drink. So, and of course I'm a gold member at Starbucks, so I let myself go to Starbucks once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on our money situation and what's going on. So, that's that. Now I'm going to get into so that was the how we eat, and now I'm going to get into the why. And one thing I will touch on is we don't eat all organic all the time. If something's organic and it's the same price or pretty similar in price, then we'll buy it. But if it's like an extreme price difference, we're like, no thanks, we'll wait on the organic. I've been asked that before, so I just wanted to address that because I know that might be a lasting question. And then another thing is like, don't ever expect anybody, we don't, and you shouldn't, expect anybody to curve to your style of eating. So if somebody asks us about it, we'll 100% tell them how we feel and like why and what we eat and what we don't eat. But when we go to somebody else's house, we always make sure to bring stuff that we can eat or just make it work on whatever they have. And we never complain or like, I told you I don't eat dyed foods. Most people don't even know what's in the food. Like, they don't know something has dye in it. And that's okay. Like, it's totally fine. That's not their job. That's the way we eat. So we want to make sure we have our own butts covered. And it's going to be the same when we have kids. I'm not going to go to somebody's house and be like, all you have is hot dogs? Are you kidding me? I don't let my kids eat that. I don't know. I think people expect you to go and have that attitude, but we absolutely do not. We will eat whatever you have that we can, and we'll make it work. It's not a big deal to us. So here is the why. Like I said, you feel a lot better when you stop eating processed foods and even the dyes. We both struggle, like depression and anxiety runs in my family, depression as well. So eating right and being in charge of what is going into our bodies really helps with that. I noticed a huge decline in my anxiety once we started eating better. And you feel just a lot happier because your body feels good. You don't feel bloated. You don't feel yucky. And the only part that's hard is if you do go back to like eating a certain way, like you're like, oh, I really want like bread, chips, like just like an intense meal that you wouldn't normally eat, you do feel like, oh, like I feel so awful. And like we were talking about on the road trip, it's hard. Like it's difficult to change the way you're eating. When you eat really, like I said, nobody's perfect, but when you eat generally really good, and you go somewhere and you can't eat the way you normally do, it does take a toll on your body and it does not feel comfortable. I think it takes a toll on your body either way. You just don't know the difference of the feeling when you're eating great, Like I said, it doesn't work for everyone, but it does work for us. We just feel a lot less at risk. I don't even know when we started cutting out dyes, quite a while ago. But we have not been sick. I used to get sick all the time, like not just like a cold, like yes, that too. We both used to get often colds and stuff like that. We have not been sick. I have to say P has not been struggling, knock on wood, with allergies like he normally does. And P would rarely ever, I think since I've been with him, he's thrown up one time. I would get the stomach bug constantly. Like in high school, middle school, all through my life. If there was a stomach bug going around, I would have it. Like, it just always happened to me. I would always get sick, and it was so unfortunate. I hate throwing up, and it was just the most horrible feeling. Since we eat the way we do, I have not had any stomach bugs where I'm actually vomiting. So that is amazing. I love that. Just that would make me eat this way for the rest of my life because getting those bugs is horrible. I don't think I'll go the rest of my life without getting one. But if it even goes to once a year, I'll take it. So, let me just double check everything. And like I said, we do this mostly for ourselves, our health, and our children, and our fertility. So, it's really for us. It's for our mind and our body, and it's just how we live our life. It has become a part of our lifestyle. It's hard not to say diet. P's always like, it's not a diet. And I'm like, I know, but like, this is our diet. Like, this is the way we eat. So I guess I would just say it's a lifestyle. So yeah, I just wanted to update you guys on that because sometimes I get questions. And I've been wanting to do this video. I tried to get P to do it with me, but our schedules just didn't match for it. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Drop any questions you have down below. If you have special dietary needs, let me know down below. I'm curious how other people eat or live their life. And just thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your support. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe so you don't miss us. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.